All right, what is going on, everybody? Got a bit of a quick hit for you here. Since I didn't preview any games in my last video, I figured I'd do it here, but also talk about some rumors and some speculation about Kings All-Star center Domantas Sabonis. Um, just talk about it. There's a lot of trade things going on, and with the season coming to the close for some teams and the future not looking too bright, and some things that were um, made, some decisions that were made, and some other players want some um, clarity on the situation for their team. Um, we're gonna talk about it a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. Try to be a quicker video. If you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have any opinions, comment them down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. Let's preview these games first before we talk about Domantas Sabonis. Um, for tonight, this is pre-recorded, so if I slip up, this is pre-recorded. Um, for tonight, um, Tuesday night, Milwaukee in Indiana to play the Pacers. Ooh, give me Milwaukee. Milwaukee just came off a bad loss to Cleveland. They'll probably want to get a win back. Give me Milwaukee. Wednesday night, Oklahoma City at Boston. Damn, Oklahoma is going through the gauntlet right now for the end of the season. They just played the Nuggets the other night. Um, oh, this is a back to back. No, this isn't a back to back. Okay, because they're playing, they're playing slash played the Nuggets Sunday night and Monday night. They travel Tuesday and they're playing Boston on Wednesday. Wow. Oh man, I talked about tiers in my last video, like levels to this. These are the best teams in my opinion. Um, man, give me give me Oklahoma, man. Oklahoma's just, in my mind, just such on a different level, and Boston's a little bit banged up. Give me Oklahoma. Um, Later that night, Minnesota in Denver. Um, ooh, oh man, give me Denver. Because Nikola Jokic is banged up, man. He's not healthy. His elbow's been is bothering him. Um, yeah, give me Minnesota. That might be a bad pick, but give me Minnesota. I also just want to touch on this because I didn't touch on it in my other video. Um, what happened this weekend with Nikola Jokic and everything, the way he's been playing, to end this season. Um, I've said Shea Alexander, the Oklahoma City Thunder point guard, is my MVP. Has been my MVP all year. Nikola Jokic just swaying me a little bit, man. I'm gonna have to make my ballot soon, um, and give out awards, but just watching him the other night drop 30 points, 20 rebounds, and 20 assists. Oh man, that was everything I love about basketball, and he just did it all. Obviously, didn't have the best game against Oklahoma. On Sunday night, we'll see what happens Monday night. But yeah, man, he's been electric. I just wanted to put that out there because I feel like I glossed over it so much in my other video. Um, oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool, cool. So we only have another slate of games for Thursday. Los Angeles in Milwaukee. It is reported that LeBron James will be at least out 1 to 2 weeks with groin soreness, stretched. Something's wrong with his his groin. Um, Give me the Bucks, man. That's an easy one. I don't even. And Luca's not right because Luca's back is messed up. Yeah, no, no. Give me Milwaukee. And then very fittingly, Sacramento versus Golden State. What used to be a hell of a matchup. The teams have changed a little bit. Um, Obviously, Golden State is like 11-1 with Jimmy Butler on the team after the trade deadline. They're going off. Um, and then Sacramento's just sort of in this weird spot. Give me Golden State. And with that fitting transition, let's talk about Sacramento and Domantas Sabonis and what reports came out this weekend. I said this in my other video talking about trades. I don't give everything cadence, but when I feel like, or give it validity, all these not requests, but like rumors and everything, because some of them can be BS sometimes. But I think the way it was reported was very convincing to me. And I quote, this is from The Athletic. Domantas Sabonis is expected to seek clarity on the Kings' direction um, in the offseason. And I quote, league sources said Sabonis, who has 3 more seasons and a combined 140 million left on his current deal, is expected to seek clarity about the organization's plans in the offseason, just as Fox wanted to know whose voices mattered the most on key decisions and who the team's owner might be trusting the most as counsel. Sabonis is known to have similar questions. End quote. I think this is very reasonable. Like it said in the quote, Domantas Sabonis or De'Aaron Fox was seeking this clarity as well. After obviously the midseason firing of Mike Brown, all that stuff. And obviously, I think their interim head coach isn't going to be the head coach coming into next season. They're probably going to look for somebody else. I think this is such an interesting situation to be in, because I think it's sort of the same situation that the Grizzlies are in, where you are capable of being good enough to be a playoff team. But you aren't bad enough to be in the lottery or be in the draft. Um, you can compete with the best of the teams, but you can't win a 7 game series against these teams. Um, the Kings have struggled to get past the king the Kings have struggled to get past the Warriors, the Lakers, the Mavs when they had Luka. They've struggled against these teams, and the deck has shuffled a little bit in the West, but they still seem to be the middle of the pack. I'm looking at their what you call it? Their damn, I'm forgetting words. Their standings this year. They're 30 and they're 33-30 on the season. Um, I'm gonna pull up the Kings right here this year. Um, yeah, they they're in such a weird direction. Um, because you have, let's see, you have one, two, three, four, five, six. You have 6 guys on this team with 10 years plus NBA experience, and the other guys are anywhere between rookie to 7 years NBA experience, which is pretty young, all things considered. You have young guys like Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray, um, Malik Monk, who isn't necessarily young, but is young-ish, you know. Um, Let me see here: Devin Carter, Isaac Johnson, um, Scalabissier, who is returned to the NBA. He has 4 years NBA experience. Shout out if you remember Scalabissier. Um, Mason Jones, Markel Fultz, who they recently signed, Jake LaRavia. You have some really young guys and really like guys who are experienced but not too old yet. And then you have guys like Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and guys who just don't move the needle for me enough. They don't move the needle for me enough. And if I'm Domantas Sabonis, I'm concerned about this too. And I'm not saying DeMar DeRozan is a bad player. I'm not saying Zach LaVine's a bad player. It's just I'm questioning. Well, one, I'm questioning myself in the sense of, if you do want to go forward with this team and with these building blocks, or these cornerstones, I should say, in me, Domantas Sabonis, in DeMar DeRozan, and Zach LaVine, what what are we doing? You know, what are we doing as a team? Am I good enough to be a number one? Because I know, sure enough, Zach LaVine isn't good enough to be a number one. I know DeMar DeRozan is past his prime, and he's not good enough to be a number one. Both those guys can have games, can have weeks, can have months where they're good. but I've never seen them do it in the playoffs. I've never seen them be the successful, and they're not getting any younger. Um, the style of play they incorporate or bring to the team is good for me as Domantas Sabonis because I feel the stat sheet guy. I can score, I can rebound, I can assist. But what good is it if the guy I'm passing to isn't going to be here in 5 years, isn't going to be here in 3 years? You just want to be middle of the pack, you know what I mean? And credit to Domantas Sabonis here. He was not an All Star. The last time he was an All Star was 2022, 2023. But he's been around ever since he got to Sacramento. He's been a 19-point scorer. His rebounding is off the charts. He's had some of his best rebounding years in Sacramento. His assists have fluctuated because of the teammates he's had and the coaching style the coach has used. But his free throws are around. It's dropped a little bit year by year. His 3-pointer has never been a strong point of his game, but he's around 37 the past 2 years in Sacramento. And this year he's around 43. So he's become respectable to almost good to great. Um, his minutes have gone up, but that's because they were just relying on him so much. And he plays games. He missed he missed some games the year he got traded to Sacramento, but other than that, he's played 79 games, 82 games. You don't see that a lot, especially from big guys. Playing the whole season. So I would also seek some clarity on the situation. If I'm in my prime, I'm putting up these numbers, and you're just kind of putting this blah roster around me, I'd be very concerned as well. And it's been shown time and time again that this Sacramento Kings team does not want to go into the luxury tax, does not want to actually be good. They just want to put a team out there that's good enough. And like I said in my video about Mike Brown months ago at this point, is this team has always just been confusing. And they had the light the beam era, that whole thing where when they won a game, they lit the purple beam up into the skies of Sacramento, and it was a great moment, and people loved it, and they still do it. It doesn't have the same energy though, and this team doesn't have the same energy, and they just lost to the the Clippers the other day on a game winner. Yeah, they lost to the Clippers yesterday, Sunday. Oh, the other day I should say, when you were seeing this. On a game winner from Kawhi Leonard. And I'm not saying that's the be all end all, like that ruined their season. I'm looking at some team stats for him now. De'Aaron Fox, who is now in San Antonio, is still their leading scorer with 25 points. Nobody has gotten close to that. Um, Zach LaVine is nearing it. DeMar DeRozan is nearing it, but I don't think anybody's going to get there. Um, Domantas Sabonis leading them in rebounds with 14. Domantas Sabonis leading them in assists, 6. Keegan Murray is leading them not even in a full block, 0.9 blocks. And De'Aaron Fox, again, who is in San Antonio now, is still their leading steals leader on the season. Um, I just think it's just so weird. It's just such a weird team. And these are the teams, because I haven't been watching enough. Like, by watching enough, I mean, I've always followed the NBA, but to follow a team across the country who is this mediocre, you need to actually talk to somebody who has watched these games and like understands the team. And I've always considered Sacramento like an okay team, but they've taken a turn, and they have these ups and they have these downs, and they seem to always make the wrong decision, and they always seem to put their trust in guys like a Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. And I don't mean to dunk on these guys so much, but they've just never shown me it. They've just never shown me, oh yeah, I can be that alpha. I can be that number one. Yeah, okay. And I'm not even gonna dig too deep into these contracts because it's not worth it if this Domantas Sabonis stuff isn't real. If Domantas Sabonis is okay with just being a guy on a okay team. But I think it's just history repeats itself again and again. And to talk about the situation a little more, um, I don't think the Kings have a draft pick this year. I'm looking at Tankathon right now, and I think I think I'm not sure if the okay. Okay, no, yeah, no, no, they have a pick from Atlanta. It's a top 12 protected pick though. So it has to follow the top 12 for them to keep it. Or if it gets into the 12 range, 12 and above, the Hawks get it. I think that's how I'm reading it on Tankathon. So um, there's no real incentive to be bad, and you don't really have. You won't. Hopefully, I hope they don't have a rookie coming in this year because that's another guy you got to pay unless you're going to trade him on draft night. Um, but man, such an awkward team. I really think they're trying to cobble together this season and try to make something out of it, which is commendable. They're not just going to throw in the towel. Um, let me I can tell you the standings right now before we get out of here. Um, they're hanging around the play-in, and I don't think they're anywhere near any of these teams that they would face if they do win the play-in or stay in the play-in. I think they're going to stay in at this point. Um, they're just they don't stack up against any of these teams well. Not against Oklahoma, not against the Lakers, not against Denver, even against Memphis. Houston, who lost Ahmed Thompson, who's going to be reevaluated in 1 to 2 weeks. Um, Golden State, nope. So yeah, just a middle of the pack team. We'll see what happens with them. Um, De'Aaron Fox is no longer on that team, and De'Aaron Fox is one of my favorite players. So I could care less what happens in Sacramento. But we will see what happens. Um, a shorter video for you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will talk about some more games later in the week. Thank you for watching. Cheers.